There's a moment in life when you realize that you're tired of visibility, that you're tired of performing, that you're not exhausted by showing up, but by holding yourself together while doing it. And that distinction, visibility without performance, is what changes everything. This is the moment when courage calls you to show up and to stay true. Welcome to Unbox the podcast. I'm your host, Sahar Palmer. This season, we're exploring the courage to be you as lived reality. Today's episode is not about branding, it's about how you live. It's about uncovering your true identity. It is not about how to position yourself online. It is about what changes in your life and work when you stop trying to be seen a certain way and instead start living with a clear identity. Before I continue, I just want to apologize for last week's episode. When I listened to it, I could really pick up the background noises, all this stomping and hammering, and I have to tell you, I'm living in an area and there are 7 buildings going up around me. And last week, I changed the position of the microphone. And guess what? It's a directional mic. So it picked up all the noises. This week, it went back into its original place. I want to talk to you about the experience that is underneath the moment when courage calls you. Over the past weeks, something meaningful unfolded in my work. My writing will be published in 2 US-based magazines with a large upmarket readership. Aegis Living magazine and Best Holistic Life magazine. Both are aligned with how I think and work about well-being, aging, consciousness, and lived clarity. What mattered to me most is not the reach, but the readers, and how this opportunity arrived. There was no pitching, no positioning, no effort to be noticed. By the way, that was my cat. Just like a few other opportunities and breakthroughs in my work. It came through relationships, genuine connections that were built over decades, through coherence, through being recognizable as myself. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, because this is not about success. It's about alignment. Let's talk about when people confuse visibility with effort. Many of my clients tell me that they feel drained by visibility. They say social media feels heavy. They say showing up feels unnatural, or maybe showing up frequently feels unnatural, and that they're tired of explaining themselves. Often, the conclusion they reach is that they're doing something wrong. What I observed is different. What drains people is not visibility. What drains them is fragmentation. Trying to sound like something you're not, or trying to hold an image that doesn't match your nervous system. Trying to present confidence when internally you are just compensating. When identity is unclear, visibility becomes labor. However, when identity is clear, visibility becomes a natural expression, an extension of who you are. That's why I always say identity before branding. Identity before branding is the foundation of my work through Unbox the Real You mentoring. Before we talk about platforms, bios, content, or direction, I work with people on one thing only. Who are you now? Not who you were. Not who do you think you should be. And certainly not what the market seems to reward. Who you are now in your body, your awareness, your values, and your lived experience. Because if that is not clear, branding becomes performance. And performance always costs more than it gives. So here's what I'm seeing in clients. Something has shifted in the people I work with. They're no longer asking how to look confident. They're asking whether they feel represented. They're not asking how to grow faster. They're asking how to grow without self-betrayal. I support clients who are reshaping their online presence, launching YouTube channels, refining their profiles, or simply deciding what no longer fits. That's the struggle or the block that they face. And what I see consistently is this. When identity settles, people stop forcing momentum and chasing opportunities. Opportunities arrive differently. Their communication language becomes simpler, and their presence becomes quieter and stronger. They don't use filters, if you like. Platforms stop being a source of pressure. They become tools for self-expression that are recognized by the right decision makers. Let's talk about age, experience, and precision. This year, I'll turn 64. I can't believe I just said that. There is a myth that visibility belongs to youth, that relevance has an expiry date, that experience makes you rigid. What I know to be true is the opposite. Experience sharpens expression and enables you to make discerning choices. With time, the need to prove yourself vanishes. You stop rushing to be seen. You become precise. I've been doing this work for over 35 years, and I can honestly tell you that flourishing has nothing to do with age, but it has everything to do with identity. Once identity is settled, flourishing returns. Creativity becomes clearer. Confidence becomes quieter. You stop explaining and you start expressing. I want to really enforce again, you have nothing to fix, only recalibration. I don't believe people need fixing. Evolution has already done its work. What people need most is understanding. Understanding how their biology responds to pressure. Understanding how awareness connects to the nervous system. Understanding how recalibration, not reinvention, creates alignment that makes self-transformation possible. When awareness replaces correction, coherence returns. And from coherence, self-mastery becomes sustainable. I hope you realize by now that self-growth is an ongoing relationship. I don't believe in flash insights without continuity. Growth is not a moment. It's a relationship with yourself over time. This is why I continue conversations beyond single sessions, through digital resources like this podcast and through my live Ask Me Anything sessions. Not as lectures, but as dialogue, because your true identity, the real you, doesn't land once. It unfolds and is reinforced over time. This episode is here to reflect something back to you. If visibility, showing up, feels heavy, ask yourself this and try to be honest with yourself. Where are you still compensating instead of expressing who you are now? That question alone changes how you show up. If this reflection resonated, you will find more of this work on my LinkedIn newsletter and through ongoing conversations in my AMA sessions. I will leave the links below in the show notes. Thank you for spending this time with me on Unbox the podcast. Remember to follow or subscribe so that we can stay connected. And leave a review if you're generous. Your vote counts. If someone in your life needs to hear this, please share it. Until next time, remember to show up and stay true.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today,